I believe there are a certain set of factors and personality characteristics that go hand in hand with the person who's in an abusive relationship, the victim, so to say. Because it's very obvious that the abuser has some serious issues, but it's typically not as obvious that the victim in the relationship also has some serious issues that need to be addressed. So the victim person in an abusive relationship usually has low self-esteem. They may have a savior complex, which means they want to fix people. They are a people pleaser, and they feel like they have something to prove. And so they're likely to stay in an abusive relationship instead of jumping ship like most healthy people. On my channel, Spirit Soul Sense, I talk about toxic relationships and abusive relationships. They're not the same, but all abusive relationships are toxic relationships. These are relationships that are unhealthy and they don't feel good most of the time, but people stay in them. I stayed in one of them. My goal here is for you, if you are in an unhealthy or abusive relationship, to acknowledge that you are part of the problem and that you need to focus on your healing. The book that I cite all the time is Women Who Love Too Much because it changed my life. I have like a number of videos on this book because I think it's very, very helpful. I am not here to attack. I am not here to victim blame. I think we can all see that the abuser should not abuse, but that person, it's very obvious. I think the first step to change is awareness that there is a problem. We can all see that the abuser has a serious problem. However, the other person in the relationship is helping to continue the abusive nature of the relationship. And I agree with Robin Norwood that the focus is not on leaving. You do not have to leave an abusive relationship because it does have the potential to change. And I would not write off anyone unless, because the extreme is death, right? A lot of women die because of physically abusive relationships. There are a lot of different types of abuse: verbal, emotional, financial, and physical. What the focus is on you. So if you're in a physically abusive relationship where death is likely, this is not for you, because what you need to do is get a plan. This video is really not for you. But there are abusive, toxic relationships where the dynamic is often this push-pull, chaos-filled relationship that you need to focus on you. That's my point. You have to focus on you. I think it's helpful for you to acknowledge why it is that you were attracted to an abusive relationship in the first place, because I think in every case, abusive people are abusive people. They tend not to change unless they go through something very significant in their lives and commit to therapy or 12 steps or whatever. But there is a defining moment in their life where they decide for themselves that they want to change, and then they change. But typically, abusive people continue abusing. They may reduce the severity or the degree, but they continue to abuse. So they were likely abusing before you, but they have tactics. They show red flags from the very beginning. A lot of times because I'll include myself in this, a lot of times we have this hole in ourselves that we want to fill, and we think something outside of ourselves is going to fill it, that we allow people who are abusive to enter our lives and fill that hole. They really don't even fill the hole, but they make us feel good for a time. And then we continue to seek that, which is why Robin Norwood talks about this addiction to love, because there's a craving and there's a cycle that goes hand in hand with addiction. And she compares it to alcohol addiction because people in abusive relationships, the person they're with often has an addiction to something else, which is why these people sort of go hand in hand together. Codependent is a term I don't use often on my channel, but abusive relationships are in nature codependent. Codependency is my mood will affect your mood. You really can't function separate from me. Your moods are always influenced by how my mood is. My thoughts and feelings, whatever is happening in my world, you cannot separate yourself from it. And so we react to each other. So if you had a bad day at work, I will now have a bad day because you're having a bad day. It's different from empathy because I'm an empath. Hence, I mean, you can see on YouTube, there are so many videos and channels that document narcissistic abuse and an empath, like those people partnering together. Often what I see missing is the empath being seriously flawed. I was seriously flawed. I had to work on myself so that I would not be in another abusive relationship. So I want you to think about this as an awareness video and ask yourself if you are someone who's experienced something traumatic or something very negative in life, in your childhood, or if you were abused. Because people who are abused often try to recreate these experiences to heal from them. But often what just ends up happening is a repetition of what's happened already, which is why, like, I know people who've been raped like 5 times. It is a tragedy. It's absolutely horrible. But I'm telling you, part of the process is healing so that you don't repeat the same things over and over again. Are you in a relationship with someone who belittles you, who calls you names? Are you in a relationship with someone who's controlling, who's disrespectful? All of these things are unhealthy. They're not normal. Are you in a relationship with someone who you argue with all the time, most of the time, half the time? All of those are not healthy. There's really no reason that you should be arguing with your partner repeatedly about little things or the same thing over and over again. So sit back, ask yourself if this is you, because we need to acknowledge that there is a problem. That's it. Acknowledge that there's a problem, and then you can go about fixing it, solving the problem so that you can become a better person. This focus is not on fixing your partner. I encourage you to read Robin Norwood's book, Women Who Love Too Much. It's not about fixing the relationship. It's about focusing on you. That's it. Your emotions, to make sure that you can be happy, healthy, and live a joyous life. I am not telling you to end your relationship. If you are in imminent danger, I'm telling you to get help and get a plan now. But other than that, I'm not telling you to end your relationship. I'm telling you there's a process to healing so that you can experience more joy in your life, whether you're in this relationship or not. You can stay in this relationship. That's not what this is about. I'm saying you need to heal. That's it. You need to heal. So I have many videos on this topic because it's something I'm very passionate about. I care about you. Honestly, I care about you. I want you to heal. I would love for everyone in this world to experience the peace and joy that I have attained after experiencing some of the worst days of my life when I was in an abusive relationship. I have videos specifically on how to heal, the process of healing, identifying more about if you're in an abusive relationship, if it's toxic or not. I really hope that those are helpful for you. I also hope that if you have not already, that you get this book from Robin Norwood. It's the only book I recommend for people who are in an abusive relationship. I've read a number of books. Let me tell you, I was trying to fix my relationship. It didn't work. This, I think, is the most helpful book. This book resonates very much spiritually with me. And so it's one that I 100% fully recommend. Everything is not for everybody, so it might not be for you. But if it is for you, let me know what you think in the comments. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you think it may help. Thank you for watching.